Everyone has that small side yard that receives no sun and nothing grows. In this video, check out how I went from this to this with just a couple weekends of effort. I cut the forms out of 2x4 wood so that the concrete stepping pavers would be 24 inches wide and 18 inches long, and ripped them down to 2.5 inches deep. I wanted them wide enough and long enough and spaced so that when I walked normally, each footstep would land on one.
So the goal today is to get the ground flat. Flat is a little bit more important than getting it level. Level doesn't matter as much unless you really want to divert the water to go in a particular direction, such as here I'm working up against the house's foundation, so I want it sloping away a little bit, but you definitely do want it flat in the case of artificial turf. Because if you don't have it flat, if you have like little bumps, those you'll definitely see those once you lay down your final product. Also, when you're stepping on it, you'll feel all those little bumps. So anywhere that you have a seam, you want to attach it just to make sure that it just doesn't separate and you don't have something flapping in the wind, so to speak. Stakes and spikes are good, but they'll only go so far. So if you really want to do it right, you got to use some seam tape. Now there's a couple different kinds that you could get. For simplicity's sake, I'm using this kind, which is basically just a roll. Kind of looks like fabric fiber that you put down, or landscape fabric that you put down in garden beds. Kind of has that texture and feeling to it. But the other side is sticky. So you just unroll it, you peel this off, and you stick the two flaps together. That makes it a lot more simpler. A slightly better but a slower way of doing it would be you buy almost like what's almost like landscape fabric again, and then you trowel on some glue, and then you have a set amount of time that you just kind of dip the glue into it. That gets a little bit better of an adhesion depending on how much glue you put in there, but given that this area is not going to get that much foot traffic, it's not a very long seam, and I want to save a little bit of time, I'm using this stuff.
I've decided to use 2 rolls of artificial turf so that it would be easier to handle and cut around the pavers. This of course meant that there would be a seam, but with this tape and some spikes, it practically disappears. And here we have the final product. It looks so much better. I'm really stoked how it turned out. No longer do our shoes get caked with mud when we walk there. The house and the fence are no longer sprayed with mud when it rains. And we have the pleasing green hue all year round. We have been living with this through all 4 seasons now, and it's holding up great. If I had a do-over, it would be to use one single roll of artificial turf as opposed to splitting it down the middle. It's just one of those things that because you build it, you know it's there. Guests don't even notice. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hit that like button and let me know your thoughts in the comments. And as always, I'll see you in the next one.